Take a walk down the street and count the number of advertisements you see. With so many brands and companies competing for your attention, advertisers have to work harder than ever. One popular method of engaging customers is by holding competitions where consumers come up with their own commercials or slogans. One of the many things athletes and professional games have in common is that they often play in teams. The teams, called clans in a gamer's language, usually play tournaments together and practice against one another. The gaming industry is worth multi-billion dollars. Gamers often get sponsored by gaming companies. Car manufacturer Hyundai thought they had a good idea: organize a contest where people could create their own commercials for Hyundai's newest and biggest vehicle. The company supplied video and sound clips, and people could use computers to mix them. We are a planet of 7 billion people, and this number is growing by about 370,000 people every day. This is putting a huge strain on the planet's natural resources. For many governments and environmental organizations, the race is on to drastically reduce our consumption of resources before they run out. Water is the most treasured resource on the planet Earth. Living things and life, as well as organic elements in nature, require water to sustain their existence. On the planet, most of the water is salt water, and very little is fresh water. So it is important to conserve it each day. Did you know that your small intestine is nearly 6 meters long? Or that there are about 60 muscles in your face, and you use 40 of them to frown but only 20 to smile? How about the fact that our bodies consist of 73% water, and that our hearts beat over 100,000 times each day? You really are amazing. Just like machines, different body parts sometimes wear down due to old age. People over the age of 75 are more likely to hurt themselves, so why not look after them while we are young? Due to the increase in the population of elderly people, it is now one of the fastest growing areas of medicine. Professional athletes aspire to be the best in their sport, and young athletes are no different. Nowadays, more young athletes aim to win competitions, set records, or perform amazingly. Young athletes perform in front of 1,000 people and create world records. When you write a report about a chart or a graph, don't focus on the details straight away. Take a step back and make sure you see the context or bigger picture. Start by defining what the graphic shows. The next thing you should do is to write a sentence that describes a key trend. It was a Swiss doctor who first suggested that giant plastic balls could be used for health purposes, and Swiss balls, as they became known, soon became very popular. Many people believe that sitting on a Swiss ball is an effective way of building your muscles. These days you'll see them used for general fitness training when you go to a gym. Sports watches measure how far and how fast you walk or run. Most can also measure your heartbeat and how many calories you burn. They're really beneficial as they encourage people to be as active as possible. As soon as you turn the watch on, it starts working and can tell you how far you've walked or run. Unfortunately, controlled studies still have a number of limitations. The first is ethics. It would be problematic to make one group of people smoke and to force someone addicted to smoking not to smoke, and in fact laws stop scientists from doing such studies. Ever since the Industrial Revolution, people have turned away from nature in an effort to make progress. We have learned how to burn and destroy things in nature to create energy or to engineer new materials like concrete, asphalt and glass, with which we've covered the natural landscape. Food producers, consumers, and researchers use a variety of ways to make food taste better. Food producers can accurately measure the spiciness of raw ingredients and finished products in order to ensure that their products appeal to customers. Some consumers, especially fans of spicy food, use the ratings to find the hottest peppers they can, or to avoid overly spicy varieties. Critics of color psychology actually point to a number of problems. They believe that the research methods may be shoddy, and the relationship between color and human behavior is not biological. However, companies continue to follow the precepts of color psychology, and say that they can see the benefits of color psychology in increased sales and customer loyalty, only when color psychology is used effectively. The concept of digital native is one that became relevant as technology proliferated, and more new devices like computers became available. As devices were introduced and became more complex, it seemed to many observers that those who were born after the advent of the personal computer and other devices had experience with them as children. Climate data released recently revealed that the Arctic ice cap melted at an alarming rate during the summer of 2013, shattering the previous record for summer melting set in 2008. Many climatologists believe, we thought that might be the record for quite a while. An eclipse is an astronomical event in which light from one planetary body is blocked by another planet such as the Moon or Earth. The Sun, Earth, and Earth-Moon are all involved in two kinds of eclipses. A solar eclipse occurs when light from the Sun is blocked by the Moon. Companies are examining new ways of organizing work teams to better meet the demand of the global economy. Effective organizations realize that structuring employers' work in traditional rigid departments and divisions does not meet their needs. Companies these days want to organize workers into cross-functional teams with experts drawn from many departments of the company, not just one or two. Scientists have noticed that whales have small bumps on their fins. By putting similar bumps on the wings of airplanes, they've been able to increase efficiency by about 32%, which saves a lot of fuel. There are also bumps on the underside of lotus leaves that help keep them clean. Paint manufacturers have already invented a paint that uses this design to help keep walls clean every time it rains.